So for clarity's sake, you mentioned about some people who want to perpetually be in control, and they condition the mind of people so that they have a wrong narratives about the African countries and even about themselves. Who are the they that you refer to?
Persons of European descent, I would say, are the they. You know, who are the they who own other lands where people exist? Who are they? Who are the they who invade other countries and decide they want it, other lands and decide they want it, even though people live there? It's never us. So who are the they? Who's that? Who has dissected Africa to call parts of it their own, and still in some areas have the nerve to still have ownership of the indigenous people's lands and controlling their livelihoods and their lifestyles and their abilities to advance and to even survive in many ways, to get out of struggle. To me, is very intentional. To others, is very intentional. Dr. Shimbori talks about that.
So these are the they that want to be perpetually in control.
Don't you think?
Well,
what do you think?
For me, so I went to Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama. In particular, we went to go and visit the Legacy Museum. And this is a museum that documents the history of the African slaves and the emancipation, and also the struggles and even the current misconception and the ignorance and the attack against not just the African people, but against people of color in general. And it was an eye-opening for me as a person. And I saw the greediness, I saw the selfishness, I saw the pain and the agony. And it was very heartbreaking because of what I saw. Yes, it is the people, like you said, of the European descent who perpetuate these atrocities, but with the cooperation of people that look like you and me as well.
Sadly, yes.
So for me, at the end of the day, I see it as the issue of the heart of man that is behind all of these atrocities and the wickedness of one color against the other color, or one nationality against another nationality. And this is what your vision, your project wants to solve. The Africultural World Project. Tell us about that.
World Africultural Community Project.
World Africultural Community Project.
It's okay, all the words mean the same. Can we solve it? No. We're not seeking to solve it, but we want to soften it.
To soften it.
We want to soften the issues we have with one another, first and foremost, by creating ways for us to engage with each other so that we can learn about each other from each other. All right. That I feel is the utmost importance, is being able to hear stories from the storykeepers themselves. I can't have you telling me about my friends in South Africa. You don't know them and you don't know their stories, but even if you tell it, it's their story. And it doesn't have the same effect and that same impact unless it comes from them. Or if I want to know your story, who can tell me better than you? Right? We are our own historians. We are the story keepers. And so it's important to be able to create and offer experiences and opportunities for us to be able to have these moments with each other. Have these, even this kind of conversation, right? Ask questions, get a response, talk about it, share what we don't agree with. Why don't we agree with it? What do we agree with? Why do we both think it's, the same? But just to have that opportunity to speak face to face is so major. With generations, have the young speak to the elders and so forth. That's what we're looking at doing. But we want to find creative and I say focus more on creative and more welcoming and the more neutral ways of doing it. Because sometimes if you put it too plain and you're very blatant about what it is you're seeking to do, it scares people. So you want to invite people in a different way and try. We're not tricking you, really. We're not but we wanted to be, create welcoming environments and welcoming settings.
So from your experience and from your community project, what are some of the most harmful misconceptions that people still carry today?
Oof. So one of the things I started hearing back in the mid, I don't even know how to refer to this decade. We were in the second decade of the 2000s. That's crazy. Because I can't say the mid 2000s because it's not the mid 2000s. Okay, around the 2008, 2012 time period, I would say.
Okay.
And so one of the things I started hearing was what individuals are told when they are immigrating here, when they're coming here, and they're told not to interact with Black Americans, for instance. And then, of course, Black Americans are always told negative things about Africans or about Caribbeans, especially people from Haiti. The things that we heard growing up were just so horrible. I feel so bad about these things now. Just horrible. And it's very unfair, but why are we told this? To keep us separate, so we don't unite. So that's something that, it's still taking place now that I still see as a problem that I see. We need to address it too, because I don't think that a lot of times we kind of bring it up and bring it out into the open that we're being told this information about each other. So it's intriguing to find out.
So you talk about the misinformation and the wrong narratives that African immigrants or Caribbean immigrants or even immigrants from other countries of color in particular have about Black Americans, and wrong narratives that Black Americans have about people of color from other countries migrating into the US.
Correct.
And for example, one of such that I've heard is that African immigrants in the US have taken over all of the job opportunities and they deprive the Black Americans of job opportunities here in the US.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
How? That's my question. How? If that was the case, the jobs wouldn't be available. If that was so, they wouldn't be there for the taking. but it's just a way to cause us to have something against the other, to plant that seed of bitterness that is unwarranted. It's like so. Yeah.
So, how have you seen these false narratives, these negative narratives, shape an individual self-worth or a community sense of identity and awareness?
I would say with our youth in particular, I think it's really hard on our youth because the media in particular is very influential, as we know.
Yeah.
We will see what's blown up out of proportion. And so a lot of people will come here with these great expectations of what life is going to be like, for instance, and find out that when you step on this land, if you wear this skin, it's going to be a whole different story for you. You are one of us, period. But if you have an accent, that can make it even worse, in a sense. But our youth in particular struggle with identity.
Wow.
And that troubles me a lot. That makes me feel bad because a lot of times the youth want to adopt this urban lifestyle they think all of us have here, which we don't. The hip hop lifestyle, for instance, is, I guess, portrayed an image that is seemingly attractive to a lot of youth, but that's not everybody. It's not available to everybody.
Yeah.
And it should not be something that so many think they should be a part of when they come here, because there's so many other things you can do to lead a positive lifestyle, a productive lifestyle. So then it's about acceptance. There's this hunger for acceptance, of course, but that's with every human being. But socially and culturally, the youth have to be accepted one way or the other. They're part of their own cliques, so to speak, or their own groups. But nobody wants to be made to feel different.
Yeah.
For negative reasons. So there's this urgency to blend in. And so I think there ends up being a inner conflict with a lot of the youth with how do they do that without, I guess, disrespecting or rejecting who they are, their own culture, which they shouldn't have to.
And I have seen several youths from African countries that migrate to the US. While they were in the African countries, they are well behaved, respectful, but coming into the US, suddenly they turn into an aggressive, they turn into being disobedient, disrespectful. And I wonder if this identity crisis is part of the issue.
It's possible, because I think probably, bullying becomes an issue where, especially even if you're born here and you're well behaved in certain settings, you get picked on for that. Or you're smart, you get picked on for that. Or you dress well, you get picked on for that. Nobody wants to go through all of that. So you want to become the opposite. So you blend in and nobody will bother you. It's just, self-defense. It's a defense mechanism. Totally understand it. Been there. Understand it. And it's unfortunate. I am hoping that through the program we develop, that we're going to start working on to go into the schools. And I want those youth who feel that they've had to change.
Yeah.
when they got here, in order to fit in, I want to see them stand out for good reasons, not to be picked on, but because they hold something that we need to value and something we need to learn about and something we need to treasure and, and just elevate them for, not cast them aside, not pick on them, not make them feel like they're less than anybody else.
Yeah.
So that's one of those other parts of our mission.
How can a false narrative about a people eventually become a false narrative that they believe about themselves? For example, black men are aggressive and black women are always angry. How can that false narrative that people say, or gaslighting people in such a way, how can it become, or how can people prevent it so that that does not become their identity and how they project themselves?
In a sense, it's almost hard for it to not be, or let's say, not to say become your identity, but to not bear that label, because if someone is going to label you that, they're going to label you that, whether or not it's true. They're going to see it that way. So, even with my New Yorkness, for instance, New Yorkers have a certain tone in how they speak, how we speak. And it can sound aggressive. It can sound harsh. We don't always mean it. Sometimes we do, but we don't always mean it, right? But we can't help how others hear it. So what do we do if we're receiving these labels? We try to correct it. We try to soften it. We try to, makes us shrink down. But should it be that way? To what extent do we need to change who we are in order to make somebody else comfortable? That's what it all boils down to, is making somebody else comfortable or making somebody else less uncomfortable. So those labels are going to be there. They are sometimes, I think, intentional in order to control someone's actions or reactions. So if you keep telling a man he's very aggressive, your tone is very aggressive, or, first of all, you're going to make a person angry anyway if you keep saying that to someone who's not really that way. You're going to cause it to happen. But I think a lot of times it's about mind control. It's about trying to control that individual or manipulating that individual to act a certain way for a different reason, for a certain reason. So either to cause an issue or to help someone be more or less uncomfortable.
Fatia, you carry a vision in your heart, a vision that wakes you up at night and in the morning you think about it. Share this vision with us.
Oh, that vision is our World Agricultural Life Center, as
The
it was
World
named.
Agricultural
Life Center.
Life Center. Okay.
That's what it is. It may be named something different when the time comes, but this is a place that combines an art center, a cultural center, an educational center, and a lot more. It is completely dedicated to highlighting Africa, its people, its histories, contributions that are global, its influences on the world. And it's a place where we're all welcome. Anyone is welcome, even if you are non-African descendants, you are welcome. I'm a big fan of Disney, so it's definitely some place that would have a lot of interactive activities in there. But everything is meant to highlight and to be a learning experience, a cultural experience. So it's all about experiencing who and what Africa truly is. It's about really highlighting the positives and becoming that central location where we all can come and be celebrated.
So how do you intend to bring this vision into reality?
Well, we started the process, when God gave me that vision, I was like, okay, how do I do it? That is so big. How do I do that? Where do you start? I didn't really have anyone to help or to even guide me on how to do that. So I let it sleep for years until it was waking me up at night. And it was like God tapping me on the shoulder, like, hello, I gave you something to do. Like, okay, how do I do it? Okay, well, I had to start with the people. So it was about, building this community, like meeting people like you, for instance, and the fact that you found us on Facebook, and that's what it's about. So building a community that will help to build this place. It will take contributions and input from members from every single African nation, every nation around the diaspora, where African culture exists in one sense of the matter, or, through the people, through culture, through impact, influence. So it starts with unifying the people, sharing the vision, and then building upon it. So we have started with our 2022, we started with in-person programming here where we bring together community members of African descent primarily. So this is an evolving vision, so that we call it our meet and greets right now. I'm trying to find a really cool name for that too. And those have been really fun. We started out with 7 people. Sometimes we will have, we've had as few as 3. And then we've had as many as 38.
Wow, that's impressive.
And it's meant to be smaller, so maybe like no more than 40. So it's meant to be a more intimate setting, so that way we can really engage with each other and have different little fun activities we do for cultural building and awareness. And then we, in 2024, started having our World Africultural Day, which is to kind of an honor and recognition of Africa Day, Africa Freedom Day. And so that's our larger event that we definitely want to grow that perhaps into a 2-day event. So in order to get to the big vision, we've got to start on the ground and with each other, building a community with each other, pulling in those resources and starting from there.
Interesting. So with this vision, your goal is to create a space where people can let down their guards and become human again, and also to soften the hearts of people towards one another and enlighten people about the African country and about humanity in general.
Correct.
So, what has this vision cost you personally? Carrying the weight of it.
It's been hard.
I can imagine.
It's been a long pregnancy, so to speak. I'm still carrying it. you know.
I hope and I pray that that pregnancy will come. You get to the labor room to deliver the baby, and the baby will not be aborted or the life cut short, but that we will see the reality of that vision.
And until we have the big baby, we've been having smaller babies.
Well, that's good.
You know, I have a lot of children right now, birthing smaller children.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been challenging, but it's that one thing in my life that I can't not do because it's hard. I've quit on a lot of stuff because it was hard, because it was scary, because I didn't know what the outcome would be, and I'd move on to something else. So I'm one of those people with a lot of pages in my resume because of age, number one, and the reality of my own mortality. It's like, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have a child, and I need to leave her with a legacy. And especially because she's African. She's half Gambian, you know, so this has to be something that's meaningful for her as well. And for her roots, her father's side of the family. So I've carried a lot of this myself. Like right now with the organization, it's myself and a staff. Not a staff, excuse me. Right now with the organization, it's myself and a board. A board of, it's been a max of 9, but it's 8 right now. Wonderful people. But they're board members, and we still need a staff. They're working board members, and I'm sorry, y'all. I know sometimes I ask a lot of you, and I appreciate you. But it's time now. You know, we're coming up on 10 years this year.
Oh, wow.
10 years since we formed the organization, 20 years from the vision, and 10 years of actual organization.
Yeah.
And this is a pivotal year because now it's time to prepare for the next 10 years and make sure that it's elevated. We can't continue through the next 10 years as we did with the first 10 years. So it's time to build the organization, strengthen it, you know, get that funding so we can have the staff that we need to do the things that we're needing to do and want to do. We want to be more supportive in the community, you know, here and even abroad on the continent and other areas where African descendants are. You know, we really want to be that resource that helps to educate, that helps to unite, that helps to connect. So forming connections is very important for what we're doing as well. So helping African descendants especially to connect to each other. So it's really, you know, that's where we're right now is just building it.
You know, I just remember one, not funny, but also painful. There is somebody that came from Nigeria, in fact, to be very specific, from Nigeria. And I've heard similar things from people from other countries as well. That they will say things like, I don't ever want to go back to my African country again. I don't see myself as being part of that forsaken, forgotten country. And I've heard things like, oh, I'm not, you know, as from Black Americans saying, I'm not African.
That was me. That was me. Yeah.